Parking in Panjim city has been a struggle for Ponjekars, with spaces getting harder to find. However, despite the limited parking space, taxis have been parking around the city, taking up the spaces. The mayor along with the police today fined taxi drivers for illegal parking. Here's more. With the ever-rising number of vehicles on the road and limited parking spaces around the city, Ponjekars have been struggling to park their cars within the city limits. However, despite the lack of space, taxi drivers have been parking their taxis in spaces meant for citizens. According to their permits, taxis are only permitted to operate from the owner's residence or on call, but many have ignored this clause and have been parking around the city in hopes to garner more customers. Taking this issue up, Panjim Mayor Montserrat, with the cooperation of traffic police, went around the city identifying these taxi drivers and imposing fines on them for illegal parking. Here's what the mayor had to say.
Even last week, we had asked for the cooperation of traffic police and the RTO to basically start clamping and filing all of the taxi vehicles that have been taking up parking space throughout the city. Now we know there are hundreds of spots that are being occupied by the taxi people, and as per their license, they are not allowed to park anywhere in the city. They are supposed to either park at their residence or somewhere else. So now what we've done is basically we want to instill discipline. Now we started last week, at least every week, at least for the next few upcoming months, we're going to be conducting these things. Now we want to send a message to everybody also that this cannot happen. So we'll start with certain areas where we find the most concentration of taxi vehicles. We'll start in those areas, and then slowly we'll reach all parts of the city.
So another issue is that even the private vehicles, they park on the road and drivers sit inside. And they block the traffic. That also has been.
So when we are doing our inspections, also whenever they've seen the police, now everyone has moved their vehicles also. So now little by little, once we start doing this on a regular basis, also it should instill some sort of discipline amongst.
Parking करतात आणि लोकांक जागो ना जाता त्याका लागून टॅक्सीवाल्या ऑलरेडी परमीट दितना सांगिल्लें आसता मेळत थंय पार्क करूं नाका म्हणून तांकां सद्या आमी बेशिस्त हेचेर चलन करता नो पार्किंग आसा थंय येवन पार्क करतात आणि मेळत थंय रावन पार्किंगाचो जागो ऑक्युपाय करता म्हणून ताका लागून त्यांनी त्यांच्या जाग्यावयल्यान ऑपरेट करचें अशें तांचे कडेन मागता कित्याक फायनी सगळ्यो वाडिल्ल्यो आसा आनी ह्यो आमकांय खबर आसा की तांकां पे करपाक भयंकर त्रास जातले तेन्ना त्यांनी कायद्याचें पालन करचें आनी आपली गाडी वेवस्थीत चलोवची.
अशें टॅक्सी स्टँडारूच तांकां पार्किंग आहा बाकीचे
तांकां स्टँड म्हणजे तांच्या घरा कडल्यान ऑपरेट करपाक आसा आनी ऑन कॉल करपाक आसा पूण ते सिटी भितर रावतात आनी पार्किंग ऑक्युपाय करतात जे तांकां अलाव ना ताका लागून आमी तांकां चलन इश्यू केल्लें आसा.
तांचे कितें कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट लायसन्सार आहा की तेणी पार्किंग करून
सद्या आमी तांकां बेशिस्तीपणाचेर तांकां चलन केल्लें आसा.
कितले चलन
सेक्शन 179 प्रमाणे तांकां 2000 चलन आसा. जी पयलीं फायन आशिल्ली 100 रुपया ती आज 2000 जाल्ली आसा तांकां.
आज कितले जाणां दिले आतां
चालू आसा न्ही अजून एक प्रत्येकान 4-5 जाणां सद्या दिल्ले आसा आनी ट्रॅफिक पोलिसांनी तांची कारवाई केल्ली आसा ते लोकांक घालत आसा.
चली ड्रायव्ह कंटिन्यू उरतली.
हय कित्याक पार्किंग जो पर्यंत सुवेवस्था सारकी जायना तो पर्यंत आमकां ऑर्डर आसा जाल्यार आमी करत रावचेच पडटलें.
While taxi drivers are being dealt with, the issue of double parking with the driver still inside the car was dealt with too. Police say that this kind of parking is illegal and that the police will now be more frequent with their patrolling for traffic violations.
They allowed na. They basically they obstruct करता for other traffic. Other movement of the traffic is obstructed. ताका लागून तेची आमी obstructive parking म्हणून तेंका आतां फायनी वाडल्या सो 500 रुपीज 100 आसा तो 500 रुपीज जालो obstructive parking.
म्हणजे ड्रायव्हर भितर बसोन हेजेर जावं
ड्रायव्हर बसून भितर वचून obstructive parking करूंक जायना.
William Rodrigues for Goa 365 from Panjim.